In 2019, SEF received funding from GRDC for a project optimising profitability of high rainfall farming systems. This is a sister project to the GRDC invested hyper-yielding crops and looks at scaling up the findings from the small plot trial work that is completed at the hyper-yielding crop centre. In 2020, SEF implemented 2 trial sites for this project. The design was created in cooperation with Settler and Deepert. This design included the time of sowing, varieties and deep ripping. The first trial site we had was in West Cranbrook, and thanks to the Preston family for that, and the second site was in South Stirling's with the Hood family. At the Cranbrook site, the times of sowing that we had were the 20th of April and May the 13th. We included a Scepter and Illabo sowing at the early stage and a Scepter and Planet Barley at the later stage. We then had 2 ripped and unripped strips perpendicular to the normal plots. The site was ripped with an old Ausplough down to approximately 450mm by the Prestons. At the South Stirling site, seeding was delayed due to the late season start. This resulted in the first time sowing being on the 16th of May and the later on the 9th of June. At the early time of sowing, we had the Scepter, Illabo and Planet, and then only a later Scepter. This site had 3 ripped and unripped strips, which was done with the Goads family new fab ripper and with the help of the Thompson's tractor, and was done down to approximately 500mm. At the West Cranbrook site, the later sown Scepter and early sown Illabo yielded significantly higher than the April sown Scepter treatments, with an average yield of 880 kilos higher. This indicates that the early sowing time does work in the region, however it needs to be with a longer maturing variety to achieve the same yields to a Scepter length cultivar when sown in May. The longer season varieties could drive other benefits for farms, such as dual purpose crops with grazing and also using up subsoil water early to reduce peak season waterlogging. There were no significant differences in yields for any varieties or times of sowing for being ripped, indicating that soil compaction was not a constraint that yielded limited yield at this site. As seen in the plant counts, there was a significant increase in plant density from the May sown Scepter over the early sown Scepter. This could be explained from non-wetting soil issues that have been slightly alleviated from the 34mm of rain the week before the second time of sowing. The higher plant counts were not seen in the later sowing for Planet Barley, as it was sown at a lower rate. It can also be seen that, although not significant, there was a decrease in plant density from ripping in all varieties in times of sowing. Using Deepert's flower power with wedgetail in replacement of Illabo for the model, the early Scepter had an estimated mid-flowering on the 15th of August and the late Scepter at the 12th of September. At the South Stirling site, there was no significant differences in yield when comparing wheat varieties or time of sowing. This could be likely attributed to the growing season rainfall and how it fell. With a mostly dry start to the season, the first time of sowing did not receive rainfall above 10mm until the end of May. The second time of sowing could have germinated off some stored moisture and received 11mm a couple of days after sowing. The later sown Scepter had the highest plant germination, which could have been a result of better soil moisture at seeding time and better rainfall directly after. The plant establishment results did not carry through to early ground cover, determined by drone images on the 29th of July. There was significant benefit to early biomass from deep ripping. For all varieties and time of sowing, deep ripping improved ground cover percentage on average by 15.5%. As expected, the Planet Barley had significantly higher ground cover over the wheat treatments due to its tillering structure. The key messages to take away from this trial this year is matching variety maturity to growing season length is critical to increase yields at Cranbrook. Deep ripping on a heavy forest gravel provided no benefits, while on sand it provided a consistent but insignificant increase in yield.